Branding, 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 right? That's all you hear people talking about, but what is it really? Branding is what you do to a brand. It's the process of bringing your brand or idea to life. Of course, you want to need a brand identity because how are people going to know who you are and what you can do? It's like WIFFM. What's in it for me? Once you can tell people that through the words and visuals and throw in a promise of the experience they'll get from working with you or buying your products, you've basically pinpointed your brand. Today, we're talking all about it. Hey, get ready to talk like a brand and live your best brand life. I'm Peachi Williams, your brand voice builder. Now, you may be asking, so I know my brand, so why is branding important? Branding helps companies convey this information. While it may sound simple, real branding is hard. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of companies that can't tell you what they do, who they're doing it for, and why. At least not in an interesting way. And why not? Who knows, but I'll tell you one thing. When they feel as if they can't get it done, they stop. They throw in the towel, and they give up. Think about how much more you stand to gain with your customers if you've actually done the work. Better connections, more impact, and loyal customers, right? A solid defined brand will take you far. It helps shape the way your internal and external stakeholders think about the brand. It embraces your purpose and why you do what you do besides making money. That's important. More than anything, a good brand tells and sells the big picture. Your branding guides who you serve, what markets you'll do business in, the kinds of employees you'll have, and how you connect with your customers. It also helps you translate your value through their emotional experiences. Brands that have clear stories are considered high value. They tap into people's emotions. And once you have someone emotionally invested, they are ready to buy. Believe it or not, that's the type of company most people want to work for because they have a mission and they move in sync to get things done. In these types of companies, almost everyone is on board because they understand. You can't buy into what you don't understand, which is where companies disconnect from their employees and their customers. So now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's talk about what branding really is. Again, people hear the word branding and they immediately think colors and logo. And while that's a part of it, the brand is not the logo. The logo is part of what the brand stands for. When you're branding your company, one of the most important things to remember is you have to be authentic every single step of the way. While some companies have deceitful practices, they don't really last long because you cannot continuously tell lies or sell lies. Think about the brands or people that give you all these promises and nothing comes of them. The goal should be to underpromise and overdeliver, not the other way around. Before you even start thinking about putting things in motion to create your brand or even rebrand, you must have a clear vision. I call it the evolving end game. It's important to clearly see where you're going. So think about next year, 5 years from now, 10, 20, 30, even 40. There's never really a finish line because you're always going to be adding and revising your products and services. But you should have a vision of how you want the company to look in the future. That's how you get buy-in from your team. As long as you see the vision and people can start seeing it too, you're well on your way. Once you get that solidified, you must consider your purpose, vision, mission, and values. And I know I talk about these a lot, but they are like building blocks. One doesn't really work well without the other, because this is the structure of bringing that vision to life and why your brand actually matters. Your values define what you will and won't stand for and what kind of culture you want for your employees. The why of your why is key. Now, doing the research to know about your industry and what people want and need makes a difference. If nothing else, you want to know what they think, how they perceive your brand, and what they think makes you different from everyone else. And if you have employees, you need to ask them too. All these things play into the importance of branding and why you need to think of it as a critical element of your success. I want you to think about a few things. 1, branding stands on your purpose and your promise. You know your why, and your promise is what you're making to your customers. Trust me, they will hold you to it. As long as you have the two in sync, you'll remain true to your original goal. If you curate a promise and deliver the experience, your customers will not only learn to trust you, they will continue doing business because you kept your word. That translates into recommendations from actual users, which then translates into sales because everyone loves a company that delivers. Your logo helps define the brand, but your promise is what keeps it strong. 2. When you're building a brand, people come to know about your brand identity. It describes who you are and who you're not. Remember purpose? As you move forward, you also acquire positioning and alignment, clarity. And if you aren't clear on who you are, how will you stay the course? 3. Powerful brands tap into emotions. Once you get there, people have found the value you offer. Selling goes hand in hand with feelings. And brands that focus on emotion will always surpass those that only focus on the benefits and features of what they offer. Good branding creates trust. 4. Your brand is an asset built on creativity, time, and assets. Great branding makes a difference. Branding also helps with recognition. Your assets, for the most part, become the face of your brand because they're what people are going to recognize. 5. Branding helps guide the steps you take in advertising and marketing. Everything aligns when you know your values because you understand what types of advertising you will and won't do. Your story will convey what you want the public to know through carefully crafted campaigns that emotionally speak to your audience. Many brands miss great opportunities because they don't have a clear brand strategy. And once you understand your customers and their emotions, use that in everything you do. You will see the return on your investment. Now, I want you to think about once you start branding. Branding helps internally as well. Great brands engage their employees and align them with the overall goal. Remember, employees are people too, and they need the same dedication and attention you give your customers, but in a different way. You want them to rave about how much they love working for your brand, which then translates to those people they rave to telling other people, and so on and so on. Brands that understand this get the best and brightest working for them, because there's a reason why some companies have too many applicants and others have none. You always want to be seen as a company that does great things and wants their employees and their customers to win. Branding the right way helps in building your financial value. While connecting on an emotional level is very important, you also need growth and sales to sustain. Good branding helps you enter new markets or create your own. Great brands have powerful brand stories because they understand who they are, what they do, why they do it, what customers get from the brand, and the value they offer to their employees. So now we're back to brand purpose and brand promise. Your why is important, and your promise is too. No one likes broken promises, so don't make your brand be one that does. Your actions, tactics, and authenticity